Hey guys, I'm here in my mobile office here, working. Wanting to talk about one of the most just insane examples of human behavior that I can think of, and that is, our two-party system, and really how the pendulum just keeps swinging from just, at least on paper, very extreme examples of left and the right. I mean, we've gone from Obama to Trump to Biden, who was obviously Obama's VP, back to Trump. And what I see happening is this is an attempt to foment an illusion that the candidates are representative of change, and that's why the people keep voting for him, because the people are being fooled into believing that they're voting for someone that's actually going to bring about real change. And the only real change that's going to happen is how much more money the rich are going to be stealing at the expense of the poor. The only real change is that the rich keep on getting richer and the poor just keep on getting poorer. We're in a situation in America right now where the newer generations, the millennials, maybe even some Gen Xers, certainly Gen Z, are in a worse financial situation than our parents were. Usually every generation has been in a better situation than the preceding one, but ours is the first that actually bucks that trend. And we can go in, we can make, dozens of videos trying to explain why that is. The amount of foreign aid we're giving to other countries, inflation, this, printing of the insane amount of money that we printed, especially during COVID. But the voting is an illusion that you have choice. And I've talked about this in other videos that I've uploaded. I'm uploading a lot of videos these days, so stay tuned. But guys, understand something. There's a two-party system for a reason. Because what they need to do is they need to keep the people fighting each other. It's divide, conquer, and control. Tried and true strategy, works like a charm every time. So when you keep the people from fighting with each other, they don't really see that the people they're fighting are not in fact an enemy at all. The people that they're fighting are also being oppressed by the same system. But see, this goes a little deeper, because it's very easy to, you have all these people that want to say that, there's some sort of a cabal of very rich people that all get together and figure out how they can consolidate more power and, make more and more money and get more and more control, and how they're going to do that. And I don't doubt that there's secret societies that do that, but see, this goes deeper even into that. And I think that, throughout the beginning of time, whoever was in power, whoever was in control, whoever had control of the money in the military is very interested in how to kind of hold on to their power. It doesn't matter what race, what religion, what civilization. The king always wanted to make sure that he could hold on to power. So maybe we don't have kings and queens, except in most countries. But we have elites, and these elites want to hold on to power. And it's human nature, at least, and it's more dominant in some people than others. Like, I think most people just want to have control of their own lives and really don't care what anybody else is doing as long as it's not affecting them. But these people do. These people want to control other people because they're drunk on power. It's not about money. If you've engaged in business before, you kind of start to understand that for some people, it's not about the money, it's about the control and the power, and they want to maintain that. Now, this is on a much bigger scale though, but that's what's really going on here, is that there's an element of control and power that some people, we all want control and power, but some people want it more than others. And when they have the ability to manipulate the system into getting that, they're very interested in maximizing the amount that they can get. And that's all that's really going on here. Is this is, human nature is very multifaceted. It's very dualistic. There's goodness, there's kindness, there's generosity, there's compassion, and then there's lust and power and greed and control and hate. But you got to understand that, we all have a fault in this. And the way to defeat this is not to buy into the culture. You see, and I've been making in the last couple of videos, I've really started to elucidate this concept of productivity and consumption. Those are the two things that this system, it's the lifeblood of the system. They want productive members of society who are going to go and buy stupid shit, get themselves in debt, get themselves beholden to a system. They got to keep you on the hamster wheel. And to be on the hamster wheel, it's got to be that there's always something better. There's always a nicer car. There's always a hotter girl. There's always a guy with more money. There's always a nicer apartment, a bigger house, whatever it is. A nicer Rolex, more expensive watch, more expensive whatever. Because if you ever were truly just satisfied with what you had, that doesn't help capitalism. That doesn't help this country's economy. It doesn't help the corporations sell more products and make more money. So you have to learn to be okay with very little. A wise man once said, you'll either be happy with very little or you won't be happy at all, because the rich are not those that have very little. The poor are not those who have very little. The poor are those who always want more, because more will never be enough. You look at the Andy Elliots, you can look at the Grant Cardones, you can look at these I call them just the system's mouthpieces. These are guys that are unbelievably insecure, unbelievably wounded. They operate from a point of mental origin which says that they're not good enough. And they believe that if they just make more money and have have more fame and more status and more followers and more, then they'll feel good about themselves, but they don't. Okay? Because the message that they're purporting is one that basically says you have to be rich, you have to have wealth, you have to show your wealth, you have to, let everybody know that you're successful. Some of what they say is good, operating in abundance, working hard, being fit, being in shape, all that stuff is good, but the end goal of what these guys are all about is very, very bad. It's very dark. And it's not coming from a place of confidence or genuinity. It's coming from places of insecurity. And I can see it it's very obvious to anyone that knows. When you need to be validated by other people, when you need to pull up to the club in a fucking Rolls Royce to feel good about yourself, you're a slave to the opinions of others. And when you define your manhood on how much money you make and how successful you think you are, you need other people to tell you that, because you don't really believe. It's just like my whole thing with Christians, how they need to go around trying to convert people. You need to knock on doors and try to win souls to Christ. If it was that obvious, if you really believed in it, why do you need to constantly tell people about it? I don't know. It's weak to me. I smell blood in the water. But you need to understand something. That if you want to defeat the system, don't buy what they're selling. You keep on buying what they're selling, you're going to continue to anchor yourself down to that system. And that's what's happening with people now. They think, they falsely believe that their happiness is tied to materialism. They think that's how they're going to gain respect. They think it's how they're going to gain a woman's love and admiration. And you'll get the respect of some people. You'll get the admiration of some women. But they're not going to be women that are honorable. They're not going to be people that are honorable. You're going to gain the respect of fools. And those that have been led astray. And that's what somebody like Wes Watson or Andy Elliott or Grant Cardone prey on. And again, I'm not saying that there's not value in anything that they say. In fact, there's a lot of good things that they say, but the most dangerous lie is the one that's wrapped with the most amount of truth around it. And that's why it's hard to see through it. And a lot of guys just don't. And it's understandable why they don't, because there is truth in what they say. But I understand that they're all part of the system. They're all part of making you believe that you have to validate your existence. They want you to believe that you have to validate your existence, that you have to validate your existence by proving your worth. Jesus. let me tell you something. You shouldn't have to validate yours. You don't have to do anything to validate your existence. That's another, just another capitalist lie. You have to be productive. You have to be useful. You can't show any emotion. That's a really despicable way to think. And the Andrew Tates and all these people that you guys listen to are all going to tell you that, because they need you to feel weak, so that they need you to feel like you're lost and you're weak and you're hopeless and you're a failure, so that they can save you. Don't fall for it.